In three, two, and one. Hello, everybody, and welcome back once again to the Great Scott Podcast. Today, I am joined by fellow podcaster and interviewer, actor and writer, Mr. Trey Olds. How's it going, Trey?
I'm fine, Mike. How are you?
I'm doing great. So this is your second appearance. I just want to remind people this is your second appearance on the show. We did audio last time, so I will let people go back and listen to the audio if they want to. But ever since then, what has been up with you?
Well, I've still been busy. I've been busy as ever in 2021. I've been doing interviews, theater work, voiceover narrations, and writing screenplays. Lately, I've been doing some writing, short stories, and some screenplays for independent productions in theater and voiceover animation. And interviews. I have an interview this evening at 2:00. It's a very important interview, an interview I've never accomplished before. It's not an actor or anyone in the entertainment industry, but I interview people who have inspiring stories and have a story to tell. And this guy has quite a story to tell. He was a Holocaust survivor. And so we'll be talking about that today. His name is Nathan Stephen Montrose, and a very nice man, very kind, very humble, and he has quite a experience to tell. So I'm looking forward to that.
I think one thing you mentioned in there that I think that we didn't hit on last time was your voiceover work. Tell us about, is there anything that we might have seen you in that you've done?
Well, I did I guess my most important or more scene work in voiceover was a show I did. I did 10 or 11 episodes. It was voiceover, but it was also on camera, but it was mainly voiceover work because I just talked into the camera as like a narration. And it was called Pile and Company. It was a show based in it was in Indiana, but I did all my work from my own studio in Mississippi, and it was a variety show. And I was the interviewer, or I would read stories or poems and news or whatever, and I did that for 10 or 11 episodes. I was the substitute co-host on every other episode. They would have someone else do the next day, and I would do the day after, and so forth. And that was very fun to do. And I guess that's my best known work, where people know me from, because I've heard people reach out to me from that. They see me or heard me in that. And let's see, I've done a few radio voiceover bumpers for other shows, like promoted them. I did the Kingdom Crossroads podcast with Bob Thibodeau. I did a few voiceovers with him, and he was on my show a few times. He was my announcer for my show. He would introduce the guest, and that was fun. And let's see, other voiceovers. I've done a few just narrations for advertisements and commercials on the internet all over, and I haven't really done character voiceovers like characters. That's not really my forte, but I've done one or two of them, and that was fun. It was interesting, but I mainly stick with voiceover narrations. And now recently I have a friend. He owns a audiobook company. He gets these voice actors to read audiobooks for authors who have published stories and poems and short stories and novels. And I'm starting to do audiobooks, and that's very interesting. And because I'm also a writer, I've written stories, so I kind of understand both sides of that. And it's very interesting. And lately I've been doing guest appearances on other shows, so that's fun. My voice is kind of getting burned out from doing so many interview shows, and but I enjoy doing what I do, you know.
Yeah, yeah. So you said that you're working on a couple screenplays. Can you tell us a little bit about those?
Sure. Well, I do something what I call one man shows. I write the script or the screenplay, and I perform a variety. Once it's finished, I get on camera and I perform one, two, sometimes maybe three or four of the characters in that story. It is a one man show, and it's a method I kind of created. I mean, there's one man shows that are in theater, but I kind of made it on camera, on video, and it's very interesting. I have one coming up I'm still working on. It's called Immortal Blood. It's a interesting story. It's about vampires, and I've kind of set it in the real world. Like there have been I've made like historical figures, vampires that have kind of just hidden under the surface in the world, and I play just one character in that, and it's a small role in that, and it's his name's the Count, and it's based on Dracula, but it's not Dracula. And he was a very interesting role to play. I as a character actor in theater, I've mostly played bad guys or these wacky characters, and that's my kind of forte as a character actor. I've done villains and just some character actor parts, and so that was fun. And I have another role coming up. It's with because I do a lot of work with theater, community theaters around me, and theater departments in a university and community colleges around here in Mississippi, and some in Alabama. And I have one coming up. It's a voiceover role for Pearl River Community College. I can't really say much about it because I signed a non-disclosure. I can tell you it's a voiceover role for a play called Cassandra, and I can't really tell you the story about it. But my character is the father in the story, and he's a Jewish character, and so I put on a little accent with that, and it's fun, and I'm waiting for a callback for that. I auditioned for that, and waiting for a callback. But if I don't get it, I don't get it. There were many other roles that are waiting.
Absolutely, I agree with you. I'm surprised that Jeopardy hasn't called you yet to co-host for filling in for Alex Trebek yet. I thought that maybe.
Oh yeah, I love Jeopardy. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, since everybody else is coming on, I figured, hey, why not? Anyways, so that all sounds very interesting. So when are these screenplays, or do you have a set official date for any of these that are coming out?
Yes, there's some on YouTube and Facebook already. I don't have a date planned for the Immortal Blood one yet. I'm still working on that one, and but I've done a lot of screenplays since the pandemic hit because you can't go anywhere to do theater. And so I just practice on more writing, and I've made a whole bunch of screenplays. I've probably done in 2020 and starting in 2021 this year, I've probably written over 10 or 15. And they're fun. They're short stories I adapted to plays, and they're fun to do. I enjoy writing them, and I enjoy acting in them.
Absolutely. Now I have to ask you: is the beard for a role?
Well, I've always had my beard. Ever since I started growing my beard when I was around 16, and I was doing theater at that time, and I've been doing theater since I was 13 or 14, but I started just getting more involved in theater when I was 16, and I started growing the beard, and the theater director, I was doing a production with my high school. I was still in high school. And he said, "What's with the beard?" And I said, "Well, I'm just growing something, trying a different look." And he said, "No, I'm not complaining. We're doing a play about, it was Phantom of the Opera, the musical Phantom of the Opera." And he said, "You just look more older with the beard." And he said, if you could be a character actor with that, because you really don't have no insult, but you don't really have a look for a leading man. You just look like a character actor, what they look like. And I said, "Oh, okay." And that's what I always strive to be, a character actor, because character actors have a very interesting amount of different roles. Character roles are probably the best written and the best worked on than leading man roles. And they may be short, very small amount of screen time, but you make that role last. You make your presence known with that role. And I was cast as, for the Phantom of the Opera, as the older version of the Viscount of de Chagny, Raoul. And he was in the beginning of the play. He was the old man in the wheelchair. And I did that. And that was very fun to do. They put a little bit of makeup on me to make me look a little bit older. Yeah. But he said the beard helped a lot. And I just stuck with the beard. And I've done a few roles where I had the beard. I've played cowboys. I've played.
What's the weirdest part that you've got?
Nobility knights. Weirdest part I've got. I've had quite a few. Nothing. I've always done good work, I think. But the weirdest part was it was an interesting role, but I thought it was just weird. It was an angel, but he was disguised as a bum, a homeless man. And I had on some raggedy clothes, and my beard was just unkempt. And I just talked kind of crazy because everyone thought I was crazy. And at the end, it's revealed that the bum is an angel, and they kind of alter my appearance a bit. And that was fun. I really enjoyed that, and gave me a few laughs doing that. And I kind of understand that, angels, I guess, disguise themselves to look like ordinary people. And I guess people less fortunate, and they reveal themselves in the end. And that was fun. And another weird role I did was it was based on improv. It was an animation role. And the casting director said, "I'm just going to give you a word and just improv on it." And I said, "Okay. I really don't have a lot of experience with improv, but if that's what you want, I'll do it." He said, "Okay, and you'll learn from it. You'll learn how to do improv when I give you this role." I said, "Okay." And he gave me, it was a animation based on Westerns, cowboys. And he just gave me a word. I don't recall the exact word. It was something cowboys or something. And I just went on this monologue about cowboys and Westerns and outlaws and guns. And I just kept going on and on. And just the way I was doing it, the director was kind of laughing at me because he said I was getting into the role, like I was actually there in the Westerns. Like I just started talking and getting into it. And I remember when he said, "Cut, we're done." I said, "Already?" I was having fun doing it. And he said, "Well, kid, that's improv." And that was fun.
So has that made you love improv even more, or was that kind of like just a one-time thing for you?
Oh, absolutely. That made me think about doing more improv work. I've done a few more since then, mostly on theater stage and my one-man shows. And that's fun. You just, I find improv is more realistic because you just get into it and you make it convincing. And
Yeah.
it was fascinating to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. So I want to talk about. I'm guessing you're in your room, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I want to talk about some of the stuff I'm seeing inside your room because it all looks very interesting. What is that photograph of in that frame that you have? That small, no,
Well,
the other way, the other way,
by the way,
the other way. Yeah. That,
well, I have a lot of pictures of. This started when I first started interviewing actors, and after I would interview them, because I found it very interesting, autograph collecting of different actors and stuff. And I get autographs and they sign it for me, and I hang them up in my room. And I have a few in my room, and then I have my little radio studio in the back of my house, and that's filled with a lot of autographs. And
who's that one?
yeah,
Who are some that you have there hanging on the wall?
well, that one, I don't know if you could see where I'm pointing, but that one is, he's a singer. His name's Al Russo, and he does a tribute show of Frank Sinatra. It's called Songs of Sinatra. And that one next to it is a voice actor named Stuart Zagnett, and he was the voice of Professor Oak in the original Pokemon TV show. And those are the only ones there. The other ones are just a few posters of different things I've collected.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I trying to show you one. I could switch the camera around. Here we go.
There you go. Yeah.
These up here. That's Peter Marshall.
Yeah.
And Dick Van Dyke and Shelley Morrison. She was the maid on Will and Grace, and I interviewed her. She was real nice. She's passed away now, but then Marion Ross, Mrs. C from Happy Days, and yeah, I have a whole bunch, and I've collected a whole bunch throughout the years, and it's growing into quite a collection.
Yeah, it definitely looks like it. How many photos would you say that you have of?
Well, not all of them are hanged up in picture frames because there's just so many. Yeah. I would probably say probably over 100.
Over 100, and so you do that every time that you interview someone?
Yeah. If it's an actor or a voice actor, yeah, I try to get an autograph picture, but some of them, don't do autographs, or they decline or they don't have pictures to do that.
Yeah, that's one thing I was going to ask you. Have you had anybody decline?
Yeah, a few. And then I used to actors that I tried to interview, but they weren't available for an interview. I said, well, could I get an autograph picture if possible? And that's happened a few times. I got one from the actor Dustin Hoffman.
Oh, yeah.
And I never interviewed him, but he sent me an autograph picture, and that was nice. And a few other actors I've never interviewed, I got autographs. Actress Susan Lucci, let's see, voice actor Robert Ito, and a few others. And I enjoy doing that as well.
So it sounds like you've had quite a year that you're writing screenplays, you're interviewing, and doing theater work. It sounds like it's been quite a year. While this year may not be, this last year may not have been the best for people. It sounds like you've been staying real busy then.
Absolutely. It's ironic. 2020, as much as the pandemic has happened and the tragedies with COVID-19, and then I was sick for a while, not with COVID, but another illness in 2020. And that kind of put me back on things. But once I got better, I started doing more and more. And towards at the end of 2020, I was just getting busy as ever, and probably busier as I've ever been.
Yeah.
And it's just ironic. And,
Interesting.
2021 is a good year so far. I guess we're still in the pandemic though, but this too shall pass.
It shall be
better.
I think we're headed in the right direction.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Trey, let me plug for you the interview you have coming up with the Holocaust survivor. What's his name?
Nathan Stephen Montrose.
Nathan Stephen Montrose. Okay, and that's happening today?
Yep, today at 2:00.
Okay, that sounds good. Then I will plug that for you. And thank you so much for coming onto the program. Thank you for coming back.
Well, Mike, it's been a pleasure talking to you, and thank you for inviting me back. And I wish you every success with your show.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you, Trey. We look forward to that interview.
Thank you.